Tributes are pouring in for Sir Bobby Robson after the former England manager died today, aged 76. Former England manager Sir Bobby Robson passed away this morning following a long fight against cancer at the age of 76. Robson played for Fulham and West Brom during the 1950s and 60s before going on to enjoy an incredibly successful career as a manager. He took charge of the likes of Ipswich, PSV, Barcelona and the club he supported as a boy, Newcastle. Sir Bobby also managed England, taking his country to the semi-finals of the 1990 World Cup. He died very peacefully at his home in County Durham with his wife and family beside him. Warren Barton played under Sir Bobby at Newcastle. He's had this to say about his former manager.
Devastating news for everybody, and my thoughts really go out to his wife and the family. Not only was he a great manager, but he's a great man as well.
He's been battling for so long, hasn't he? It seems almost unbelievable that there will be football without Bobby Robson.
Well, hopefully his legacy will continue. He's been magnificent. He's the best I've had. You know, as a package, as a manager, his enthusiasm, his desire to do well. He's black and white through and through, and it's a huge shame because he's a legend, and he is a legend, and it may be something that the FA and the country get behind and really let him know how much he'll be missed.
What made him so special?
He was a people's man. He was great man management. We talk about the modern day manager with the man management, his ability to conduct himself, but as a package he could motivate you. He was a kind man, he was an honest man, and as I said, it'd be a huge loss to everybody, and our thoughts go out to his family.
Well, Glenn Hoddle says you can't exaggerate enough the respect he had from players and managers from around the world.
He was a football man, and playing under him, he was a very endearing man. You endeared yourself to him. He was quite comical, sometimes not knowing quite as comical as he thought he was, but it was a fantastic squad. Certainly in '86 when we played, you could see how much respect the players gave him, how respected he was all around the world, and I think also when he went abroad as a manager, the success that he not only had in England and with England, but certainly abroad, the respect was worldwide. He was somebody that would talk to you. He would come up and tell you if you were playing well, indifferent, or being left out, or being put into the team. He was one of them lads. He was one of them managers where the lads really did take to him. They respected him for what he'd done on football, but they respected him off the pitch as well, because, as I say, he was a very charming man, but also very much a winner as well, and to get that chemistry sometimes is very difficult, and Bobby had that in abundance.
Our hearts go out to Elsie and Bob's family. I was privileged enough to be out in Portugal about 3 or 4 weeks ago playing in his charity golf tournament, and sat at his table at the gala dinner in the evening. His family were telling me that they really didn't want him to come to it because they didn't feel he was well enough to travel out to Portugal and have all the adulation and all the hype that would be around those 2 or 3 days, and it would probably be a little bit too much for him. But he was determined, because he had such a strong character, and as he's proved in this last few years, what he's fought against, a lot of other people would have failed earlier. But he was determined to be out there. His name was on the tournament, and he was going to be out there and go around in the buggy and have a little chat with the competitors, and be there at the dinner and talk to people, have photographs taken, and no, he was just a special man. I think it was probably fitting that it's only a few days ago that he was wheeled out at St James's Park there in front of 40,000 people.
Managing is the most difficult job in the world, and managing footballers especially. And to do what he did, and to be successful, and still to have the respect and the admiration of players, and I'm talking great players, Ronaldo's, Romarios, Kluivert's, people of a great stature in the game, they all loved him, loved working with him. And I think that for me, if you want to be a coach, yes, you want to be successful, but you also want players to know you've made them better, and they love working with you. And Sir Bobby had that. That's special, and that says something. And I think everything, the game will be worse for Bobby Robson leaving us.
Terry Butcher signed his first ever professional contract under Sir Bobby Robson at Ipswich before playing under him for England between 1982 and 1990.
Everybody came to love him within the England team because of his manner and the way that he got to know people and made you feel special. And he did. He made you feel 10 feet tall, and you wanted to play for him. And I think a lot of players you speak to all over the world, international quality players, just loved him for what he was. He was a genuine, honest guy who loved his football and could talk all night about football, all day about football, because he loved it so much.
News of Robson's death quickly reached the Far East, where West Ham and Beijing Guoan held a minute's silence before their Asia Trophy match. Sir Bobby Robson, who died today, he passed away this morning after a long fight against cancer.